Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Dedan Tolbert Show. This is Ask Dedan Advice Mondays. I'm your host, Dedan Tolbert. Feels good to be back. I've been going for about a week now. Feels actually probably longer than a week if you count the weekend. So, been about 6-7 days. So, I'm really, excited to be here. Excited to put on a great show for y'all tonight. This is gonna be one of those classic episodes. It's gonna be one of those real episodes. It's gonna be one of those episodes that's gonna piss some people off. It's gonna be one of those episodes that some people are really gonna love because they know what we do and how we do it and why we do it. So again, I'm happy to be here. I see my co-host Gerald Howard is on the line with me. Gerald, what's going on tonight?
Oh man, great to be back on the air. It's been a long time, man. How the vacation, the little getaway go, man?
Man, I'm gonna talk about it, but I gotta say I'm back, and I have a totally new perspective. I mean, Joe, and that's what really inspired this show. I mean, for those of you who may not know, I've been talking about it on Facebook. I talk about it, before I left. But my best man, he actually took me over to the Dominican Republic for a week-long bachelor's party. Those of you, some of you know I'm getting married this Saturday coming up. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's pretty much, that's all that needs to be said. It was ridiculous over there. It was beautiful. The people were, not just the women, you know what I mean? I mean, although fellas, the women are gorgeous. Seriously, all jokes aside. But not only the women, but just the overall attitude. There was a lot of hating going on Facebook. I talked a lot about not only the beauty of these women over there, but I talked more so about the personalities. And a lot of people said things like, well, Dedan, it's a resort, and that's just how they are. They're paid to be friendly. They're not going to be, mean and have attitudes on a resort. Look, guys, that's not what this is about. I'm trying to tell y'all, I wasn't just I was all over. I went to like 3 or 4 different cities. I went into the hood, where people walk around with shotguns. You know what I mean? But it's really I'm saying that they got shotgun. I'm saying it's a friendly place, but honestly, it's really it's just a totally different world, is what I'm saying, than it is here in the United States. Everybody speaks to you. Everybody is friendly. Everybody is so laid back. Everyone's not in a rush to get anywhere. No one is, women. It's funny because they're even on the resort. There were women from America staying, I guess, a week or whatever, like we were. And you could just tell, they didn't even speak. I'm like, wow, do y'all even know where y'all are at? I'm like, yo, we not in North Philly. This isn't the, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be like that. And, they just really stuck out like a sore thumb. And it's sad to say that they were black women. And let me just say this. This isn't, for those of you who are new listeners, this isn't one of those, women bashing shows or anything like that. We genuinely care about helping people come together, but specifically helping women come together and find husbands, find men. And in doing that, I talk about the issues that are really affecting the vast majority of this country. And on tonight's show, what I want to do is I want to talk about is attitudes. And the title of tonight's show is The Attitudes of Black Women, or Black Women with Attitudes, and how elite and good black men absolutely cannot stand them, because this is something that it needs to be addressed. It's like we've talked about it before I left, off and on, but me going away, and I said something that turned out to be pretty controversial on my trip, and it ended up being a huge debate. I'm debating with people in another country. I said something about black women specifically that a lot of people took exception to, but it's 100% true. But we'll get into that, though. I want to encourage everybody and invite everybody to join into the chat room, log into the chat room at DedanTolbert.com. Go right there. Feel free to call in with your views, your comments, 646-200-0366. This is a very interactive show. I love to hear from people who agree, people who disagree. It is what it is. Let's get it in. But, Gerald, man, I don't know. Have you ever got a chance to go over there? Are you familiar with Dominican women? Do you have any idea what is over there?
I've been there twice, and yes, I know it's a huge complete difference in the mentality, the behavior, the actions. I mean, it's a complete difference as far as the culture of the women are concerned, especially when compared to American women. So, you know, I have had the pleasure of going over there, and yes, I know it's a complete difference. You know, I try not to even tell fellas in the States about it because they wouldn't believe it if I told them.
Hey, man, it's so funny that you said that. I'm almost speechless talking. It's like I feel like I've seen that, and I've never been there. This was my first trip over there, so I'm looking at it like, wow. You know, like, and be clear, ladies, these women are some of the most beautiful women in the world. But again, I'm not talking about just looks. I'm talking about beautiful on the inside as well as on the outside. I'm a very good judge of character. I love great personalities, and these people are genuinely friendly. If you've been there, you know, Gerald knows exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't been there and you're a black woman hearing this, don't take this. And that's where, a lot of people took exception to this, and they took offense to me, really hyping up another race of women. But there's nothing wrong with that, because it's a true statement. They're genuinely more friendly. That's not an attack. That's basically me encouraging you guys, if you want to find men. I'm just going to be real about this. I said this is going to be one of the realest. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And actually, I'm going to read exactly what I said, because I just want to jump right into it today. We got a lot to talk about. What I said was, and this was probably like midway through my trip, I said, and I was dumbfounded. I was laying up in my hotel room, actually really in the villa that we were staying in. I said, it's amazing that even though many of the women here in the Dominican Republic are the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life, on television or in person, their personalities are nothing like that of American women. Everyone is so personable and humble. And I went on to say that the moral of this is that no woman in the United States, and I truly mean this, I don't back off of anything I say, I truly mean this, and any black man listening will agree with this. Women will have a problem with it, I guarantee. But I said, no United States American woman, period, should ever have the gall or the audacity to be stuck up based on the way they look, when there are women in the world who look like that. Now, I hope y'all heard that. I hope you didn't take it the wrong way. A lot of women, American women, black, Puerto Rican, white, whoever, just women, period. But specifically, since I'm a black male and I've only dated black women in my life, that's what I'm going to speak. I'm going to speak on black women, since that's what I'm familiar with. A lot of black women have these attitudes like, I look good, I have a small waist, I have a nice chest, I have a big butt, I have a pretty face, I have long hair. You feel what I'm saying? And so, because I look the way I do, you are going to chase me. Me dealing with you is somehow doing you a favor. And I got to be honest with y'all, ladies. That mentality, not only is it absolutely ridiculous, because again, I'm a sociable guy. I go out. I've seen, been to different cities here. I'm not trying to be extra with it, but I need y'all to understand this. These women, I'm just going to be real about it. I've never seen an American woman who looked as good as some of these Dominican women do. So the point of it is, none of y'all, okay, and just hear me out, none of y'all should have that attitude. Now, I'm not saying you all have to look like that, but if you don't look like that, there's no reason you should have an attitude like you look like that. Because some of you do. Some of y'all don't even look that good. And you have these stuck-up attitudes expecting, these elite men, these good men, to chase you. And today we were talking online about, why do black men, specifically successful black men, professional black men, date outside of their race? And I put that up there for a reason. I worded it the way I did. Not one black woman said anything remotely close to the attitudes that a lot of these women have. They just said all these other, just look at the post. Nobody touched on their real issues. And I'm just probably one of the only men, probably next to Gerald Howard, that's not afraid to talk about it, because nobody discusses this stuff. The reason is, a lot of these black men can have any woman they want. All right? They're successful, they're ambitious, they're educated, they're well-spoken, they're, handsome. They don't have to settle. So just think about this, ladies. Why would a man who could have just about any woman that he wants settle for a woman who has a stuck-up attitude based on the way she looks, when he could have a woman who looks just as good, if not better, who also has a more pleasant and friendly attitude to go along with it? So, I mean, that's what's really going on out here. Gerald, talk about that for a second. What are your thoughts on that whole attitude thing as far as black women versus women of other races?
I mean, it's a huge difference, and especially when you're coming from a place like the Dominican Republic, where it's really night and day. People really don't even understand the difference. And I figured you might be talking a little bit about the Dominican Republic tonight, and so I asked a couple of fellas while I was out traveling out and about, and I ran into 5 different dudes who had different perspectives. I wanted to share things. And just one of the guys, a fella named Richard, he's an engineer, very successful man, and he's been over to the Dominican Republic. And what he said, I mean, I'll quote him word for word. He said, it's a respect thing with me. Black women in America are so busy trying to compete with you that they have forgotten how to be wives and girlfriends. The women here, the women in the Dominican Republic are a lot more mindful of that. They work hard to make sure that they are good to their men. I just don't see that in American black women anymore. And when I do, they throw it up in our face every 5 minutes. That's from an engineer out in Ohio.
Wow. Ladies, just understand. Listen. A lot of y'all get so defensive and it's unfortunate because, again, the goal of this show, just to put this out there for the new listeners, is to help you understand how black men think. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all won't be able to think like them, and that's ridiculous. You never will be able to think like us, but you'll be able to understand how we think. And what we do every single night on this show, which is so valuable, is tell you the things that professional, good, elite black men are saying, but more importantly, what they're thinking, and they may not express to you. You guys are so focused on debating and competing that you're not listening, because we don't just make this stuff up. Again, Gerald just said this was an engineer. And do you know how much money engineers make, ladies? This is what, not only I'm successful, Gerald is an engineer, I mean, whoever, black men all over the world are saying the same things. It's not some type of hidden conspiracy against you guys. This is real, whether you like it or not. The reality is that there's a very, very negative perception across the world, not just here, but definitely across in this country, about black women and their attitudes. Now, again, I would never be so inappropriate to, lump all black women into one category, because obviously my fiance is a great example of a great black woman with a great personality. So, and there are others like her out there. So I'm not trying to lump all y'all, but what I'm saying is that stereotype did not just come out of the blue. It didn't just come out of the air. You feel what I'm saying? It's based on the vast majority of black women who have these negative attitudes, and that's real. I mean, again, I love beautiful black women, but I can't. But because I'm a real dude, I'm a 32-year-old black man who's grown up dating nothing but black women and interacting with black women all my life. So trust me, it's real. You feel what I'm saying? We're not just attacking y'all. This is a call to y'all and this was this morning's advice, and I want to read it. Because we see these statistics and these specials on why so many black women are single, but people are kind of ignoring the real issue. And this is what I said to help y'all out a little bit. I said, ladies, the only way an elite man will marry a woman is if she has the greatest personality that he's ever experienced. Many women in today's society have jacked up personalities or just okay personalities. And if you want a great man, if you want an elite man, not just an average man or a good man, you have to show yourself to be great by differentiating yourselves from the rest of the average women out here with not so good personalities. And like Gerald just said, he just said women of other countries, other nationalities, and it's their culture. It's actually in their culture to be great for their men. Not just the, okay, if it happens, it happens, but they specifically go out of their way. They, just like y'all compete to see who has the most education, the most degrees, who has the biggest Gucci bag, or the, you know what I'm saying, the nicest weave. Just like y'all compete for that, these women of other countries compete to see who can be the best wife, to see who can, have the best household. Not the most materialistic things in the household, but the best household. You understand that? That's what a lot of American women are lacking. It's the mentality that exists in these other countries. Matter of fact, one of my Facebook fans on the fan page, she emailed me, she commented on one of the threads. She said she's actually from Africa, and she said that one of the, in her country, I believe she said Ghana, but don't quote me on that. She said in her country, black women, the culture is they're specifically brought up to believe that their greatest accomplishment in life was to get married to a good man. That's what they strive to do, was to marry and to be a great woman. Now, a lot of y'all take that as some type of, you think it's beneath you, or you think it's somehow demeaning you as a woman, but it's not. It's just saying, hey, look, I want to be a great wife, and there's nothing demeaning about that. You don't, and I get it. And we'll talk about. Matter of fact, we'll talk about the reasons for that tomorrow. Tomorrow is actually going to be a special edition of Barbershop Talk Tuesdays, where we're going to be discussing the reasons. Because I don't just like to put stuff out there. I like to get to the root of it and talk about the reasons that so many black women are the way they are, why they have the attitudes that they have, based on the games, the lies that men tell, and the games that men play. So don't think I'm just, bashing, or I never talk about men, because I do. I call it straight down the middle. Black men are the reason for a lot of these attitudes. But what y'all have to understand, and they're the reason that so many black women don't appreciate a good man. We're actually going to be talking about the movie Meet the Browns. I actually got a chance to watch Meet the Browns over in the Dominican Republic. And it's a great indicator. And Angela Bassett, she just knows how to pick these freaking movies. She just starred in some of the worst depictions of black women in the history of the world. Meet the Browns, How Stella Got Her Groove Back, Waiting to Exhale, all just, her acting wasn't the problem. It's just those characters were all great indications of just weak women who did ridiculous things. And specifically, though, tomorrow we're going to be talking about black women not appreciating a good man when they have one as a result of the situations that they've been put in their past. Gerald, what are your thoughts?
It's definitely going to be a great show and something that's much needed. I know a lot of people have been hitting me up this week while we've been off the air, asking about certain questions and about men and why they do the things that they do. Got a great question from a young lady I'm going to have to send over to you. She was in a situation where, just like you spoke of, her boyfriend is out playing games and cheating and things of that nature, and she just can't figure out, get up the gumption to leave the situation. So, it's definitely something that always needs to be discussed. More people need help, and it'll be a great show tomorrow.
Definitely. So, and fellas, that's really your indication. I get a lot of mail from men, a lot of emails, a lot of just comments and stuff like that from men, just being like, yo, thank you. Really thank you. Because honestly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the elite men of the world up until now have not had a voice. All right, we have not had, and I say we because I consider myself an elite man, Gerald Howard. This is the realest show in the country because we speak for not just okay men, not just good men, but the elite men of the world. We talk a lot about that term. We're starting to hear more and more people understand what I mean. Being an elite man has nothing to do with how much money you have, has nothing to do with the job. It just has to do with you as a person. It's the best of the best of the best men in the world. And whatever, whatever that means to that man. You can be a trash man and be an elite man. So, up until now, we have not had a voice, and that's what this show is about, helping women. Now, again, ladies, if you want an okay man or an average man or even a good man, then you keep doing what you do. But if you want an elite man, the things I talk about on Facebook, the things I talk about on this show will help you get and keep that man. Now, again, I want to hear from you. I see some calls on the line. I see y'all. Definitely hit the number 1 on your keypad. I'll take your call. Join us in the chat room. I'm going to be taking some calls in a second. But there's something else I want to talk about. I don't want to lose that, though. I don't want it to be misunderstood. A lot of people hear me and they misunderstand certain things. And I just want to kind of wrap that point up on this note. Ladies, some of you look good. I don't want to take that away from you. But please hear me. As an elite man, I'm just going to be real with you. And when I was in my heyday, I'm getting married on Saturday, but best believe, men like myself, men like Gerald Howard, my man Dre, we only, back in the day, we only dated the best of the best. You know what I mean? Like, women like you ladies listening, you know, I'm trying to be tactful, but I'm just going to go ahead and spit it out. Like, none of y'all look, you know, good enough to have the attitudes that you have. Seriously. So I'm just being honest with you, because there are women of other places that, you know, really are beautiful on the inside and on the outside. Some of y'all look good. I'm talking about, I was around women every day that would put Halle Berry to shame. That would put, you pick it. I don't care who you pick. Any American woman, you pick them. And some of these women just walking around on the humbug, walking around just, you know, in the street, look 10 times better than the most beautiful woman that I've ever. I'm just being honest. So that my point is this: when you go out to the clubs, when a man asks you to buy him a drink, if a man just walks up to you and says, "Hey, what's up? How you doing tonight?" Don't you dare put your nose up in the air like you look too good to talk to him. Seriously, do not do that, because that attitude is the number one reason why so many successful black women are single in this country, because you think that you're on a certain level, and none of you are on that level that you think you are. Some of y'all are great women, you know what I mean, you're on, but none of you are on that level where, to the point where you need to be, you know, like, oh, I'm this and I'm that, because there's always somebody that looks better than you, and I just came from that place. Y'all can be mad if y'all want to, but I'm speaking the truth. I'm getting text messages right now from the men across the world who are like, wow, you keeping it 100%. Thank you for letting these ladies know. I'm not afraid of y'all ladies. I'm not afraid of the Facebook comment. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat, because these are things that you need to know. But you may not want to hear it. And that's the whole premise of my 2-disc audiobook that was released last Valentine's Day. A lot of y'all have gotten it. Those of you who have not gotten it, you need to get it. It's changing lives. It talks about the things that you need to know but are unpleasant to hear. I talk about the importance of self-reflection, self-examination, looking in the mirror. Chris Brown looked in the mirror. He started singing, Man to Man. He broke down in tears. Some of y'all need to really take a look at your lives. Look at your behaviors. Stop doing these Nightline specials bashing men and talking about men. Look at yourselves, and I'll tell you exactly why you're single. I'm doing so much counseling now. I'm setting up consultation. My days are booked now with relationship counseling sessions, because women are like, Dedan, help me. You feel what I'm saying? As the show grows, this business is growing. People are like, wow, I hear you. I'm not one of these lonely, bitter women, but I feel you. But I want to change. I acknowledge there's some things in my life that I need to really work on. I know it's not all black men. I know they're black men, just like you, great men, looking to marry somebody. I was single for a minute, and I would have continued to be single had I not met somebody who met my qualifications. And you can be that woman too, ladies. It's just a matter of self-reflecting and self-examining. And that's why we do this show, to tell you the things. A lot of y'all think you're better than this. But, it is one. And I want to read some things from some women who get it. That's why I read the feedback, to let you know that there are women out here who listen to the show faithfully, because they know I'm changing lives, and they know that this information will help you get and keep a good man. Nobody wants to be single. Gerald, man, am I keeping it too real? I don't know. I mean, hearing this, and I want to hear from some women too. Hit me up, let me know if I'm keeping it too real. But whether you like it or not, this is the truth right here, ladies. Gerald, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's definitely the truth. The only thing I would probably, steer away from is because, I've been there, and like I said, I know that the women are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's kind of mind-boggling. But the thing is, regardless where you're at or where you go, I mean, if you have a nasty attitude, it doesn't matter what you look like. You're going to be an ugly person. I mean, the women over there who looked a certain type of way, if they had an ugly personality or ugly attitude, I mean, they would be just as ugly as well. But it's crazy that, people will act a certain way and think they're better than somebody else, and we just don't seem to get what's really important. And ladies, it's a huge reason of why so many women are single, because you don't see what's really important. These men, when they love you and they really care about you, I mean, the truth of the matter is you don't have to be the most beautiful woman in the world. As Dedan said, there's always going to be somebody else who looks better. There's always going to be another man who looks better than us. But the thing is, when a man knows how to treat a woman and respects a woman, then he'll be the most beautiful, he'll be the most handsome woman to that man, to that woman, And when a woman knows how to treat a man and respect herself and have a humble personality, she's going to be the most beautiful woman to that man. So, we really have to focus more on what's inside versus what's on the outside, because as long as we're trying to get people with what's on the outside, we're going to always continue to be single, because everybody's outer beauty will fade eventually. So that's something we always have to keep in mind.
That's very true. Now, speaking of what's on the outside, that's going to be my next little topic. I want to talk about how some of these women dress as it relates to, what I saw over in other countries. And, it's totally different. But before I go any further, I just want to say I went away to the Dominican Republic, and it was about a 5-hour flight, between, the two flights that we had to take over. We stopped in Puerto Rico, then over to the Dominican Republic. And I took Gerald Howard's book, With No Means Yes. And I've had it for some time, but just because my schedule was crazy, I didn't get a chance to really get into it like I wanted to. But I took it on the plane with me. I finished it, practically on the first trip. I finished it off on the way back, and I can honestly say that it's one of the realest books I've ever read. It really reminded me of myself. Those of you who have read The Love We Had, you see a lot of obvious comparisons. It's just all right. And even you hear our chemistry here on the show, you can tell we're kind of in sync. But that the book really was a great depiction of what goes on in college life. I've been to college. Joe's been to college. He talks. It's just real. It's real life, and a lot of messages. And I know you put them in there, Joe. There's a lot of messages. So, ladies, I say all that to say, if you have not gotten that copy of With No Means Yes, definitely get it, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. And, it was off the chain. Gerald, any remarks on When No Means Yes?
Hey, man, I definitely appreciate it, man. I'm just trying to keep putting out books that, people will say, that's the realest and one of the best books I've ever read. I just finished writing one last week while we were on vacation, so it'll be out in sometime in August. I won't even tell you the title yet. It's just going to be one of those ones that you're just going to be like, wow, I can't wait to see what this is about. But I appreciate it, though.
Yeah, no, I definitely need a copy of that, advanced copy of that sequel or something to find out what goes on in, with the whole. So I don't even want to give nothing away, but just, I need to see that sequel to When No Means Yes. I'll just put it like that. When can people expect that? Anytime soon?
Man, it's crazy, because everybody's been hitting me up about the sequel to When No Means Yes. It took off even more so than I thought it would. So I'm going to probably have to push it up to early next year, probably January, February at the latest. But there's definitely going to be one or two great books in between that it's going to have the same effect. They only get better.
Cool, that's what's up. And just while we're talking about books real quick, just got to let you know, in honor of the 5-year anniversary of my award-winning novel, The Love We Had, I'm doing some things. And I'm re-releasing it on Valentine's Day. Some of you may remember I released what women need to know but don't want to hear this past Valentine's Day. This is official. This new Valentine's Day coming up, I'm going to be re-releasing an extended version with maybe an alternate ending, maybe all types of different things going on in the book. The general story is going to be the same, but it's going to be some different things. I'm totally not redoing it, but if you liked it before, you're going to love it now. Let's just put it, if you haven't got it, you didn't get a chance to read it 5 years ago, which a lot of you haven't. I've gained a lot of new fans since then. Valentine's Day, the love we had. Just put that on your calendar right now. A lot of people are saying it's the best book they've ever read. It's what jump-started my whole career. It's why you hear me right now on this radio. So just look out for that. Now, not to talk about that all night, I see my man T. Smitty on the line. T. Smitty, let's say what's up there. What's going on, man?
Man, Dedan, thanks for having me on. Glad you had fun on your trip. But get this, man. I had surgery, man. I had my gallbladder removed last week, man.
Oh, damn. You all right? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Walking around a little. Go back to work next week.
Cool, man. Yo, T. Smitty, man, real quick, I want to keep you around for this next part of this discussion because another one of these interesting and ironic observations was, and I talked about it on Facebook today, talking about black women and their attitudes. And you know why that being the number one reason, or one of the number one reasons why so many women have problems, you know, with these relationships. And the flip side of that is, and that's what I said right here on Facebook. I said one of the most interesting and ironic observations about my recent trip to the Dominican Republic was that many African American women, and this is real. This isn't, you know, I'm just being real with y'all. A lot of y'all dress more like prostitutes. And a lot of people don't like the word whore, so I toned that down. I changed it to actual, you know, prostitutes. Many black women dress more like and look more like prostitutes than the actual prostitutes that walk around in the Dominican Republic. And be clear, prostitution is everywhere over there. I mean, the ratio, it's like, I don't want to throw out false numbers, but I read a statistic. It was something crazy, like 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 women over there in the Dominican Republic are prostitutes. You know what I mean? Like in these cities, which is crazy. So, you know, and I said that it's just ironic. I said it's no coincidence that there's so many single and unmarried African American women in this country, and a lot of it has to do with the way y'all dress. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about when I went over there, a lot of these women we were solicited left and right by whores, by prostitutes, talking about something, you know, you want to get freaky. That's like their little thing. They don't speak a lot of English, but they see Americans. It's like, you freaky. And we like, oh, no, you know, no freaky. But, you know what I'm saying? And these women were, you know, very, what's the word I'm looking for? They were very, their outfits were not that crazy. They did not look like American prostitutes is what I'm saying. They didn't have their whole chest out. They didn't have their whole asses out. They didn't have all these extra tight freakum dresses. They actually look like regular women. That's how they get you. You know what I mean? So I don't know, you know, if that's just, you know, they're part of their plan or what, but the point is, some of y'all look more like prostitutes than actual prostitutes in other countries. So I don't know if that's the message that y'all want to send. I don't know if that's the look you're going for. I don't know if y'all think it's sexy. But I'm telling you straight up. Matter of fact, funny thing is, look, I put up the album on Facebook. Go to my Facebook page and you can see all the pictures from my trip. Now, I took some pictures with some prostitutes for this very reason. I want y'all to go on there. Well, one of them I wrote a little blurb. But a lot of those women I took pictures with are actual prostitutes. You feel what I'm saying? So I want y'all, and you can see for yourselves that you wouldn't guess that they were prostitutes. Now, you look at some of you guys, if you go over there dressed the way you go out on a Friday night, on a Saturday night, you would be mistaken for whores. Y'all don't like when I use that word, but now that I've come from over there, I can actually say that. A lot of you look like prostitutes. Seriously. Like, matter of fact, you look worse than some of these prostitutes. So the point is this. Change the way you dress, and then that will in turn change the way that you're treated, you know, by men. Nobody's going to wife you up looking like that. Not only are they not going to wife you up, they're not going to even take you seriously. Gerald, what are your thoughts on it? Because I found that to be extremely profound.
No, I mean that's definitely the case over there. I mean it's crazy because it's like the prostitutes are even trying to have respect for themselves. I mean, I know it's kind of oxymoronic, but I mean that's how it is over there. Even when they're, you know, less of a woman in my eyes, they still try and respect their bodies. It's crazy as that may sound, but we get over here to the States, and women who aren't prostitutes or who don't want to be taken as prostitutes, they dress in a manner that you can easily be mistaken with prostitutes on the side of the street. So it's like I said, it's just a totally different mindset, totally different culture. I mean, when men are comparing prostitutes of another country to regular women walking the streets in America, I mean, it just really makes you think, and you have to do a little bit of self-evaluating. But I mean, if you've never been over there, then you wouldn't know what we're talking about. But just understand, the women who are actual prostitutes, they actually dress in a respectable manner. It's absolutely crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, we talked about why many successful professional black men date women of other races and of other nationalities, and it's sad to say, because I do love my African American women. I do, and that's why I do this show, is to help y'all. You feel? I talk to y'all like I'm y'all big brother. I treat you like I'm your big, by really giving you that tough love. Because this is what black men want. We don't want whores. We want a whore. We'll go to the Dominican Republic and have sex with somebody in a back room for about $75 American. We'll go. I mean, seriously. I'm just to be real with y'all. I'm just gonna let y'all know what goes on over there. You know what I mean? It's the realest show in America. Like, that's what, fellas. We're gonna have barbershop talk for a quick second. And now, obviously, single men. That's like the mecca. If you get a black, that's why my best man said, "Look, I want to take you. You about to get married. You know what I mean? I want to take you to the mecca of beautiful women." That's really, honestly, just being real. That's what it is. Imagine being able to just be with somebody, say the most beautiful woman you've ever seen in your life, for like $75. So my point is this: if that's what you want, you know what I mean? If that's what we wanted, if we wanted a whore, a gorgeous, like, picture somebody that looks better than whoever, and that you could experience for a very relatively cheap amount of money, that's what we would do. So you guys dressing like that, that's not appealing to us. Some of y'all are dressing like that, and you don't even look that good. It's ludicrous the way some of y'all dress. It's almost like an insult to the freakum dress. I mean, seriously. So do yourselves a favor. Put your chest away. Cover up your ass. You know what I mean? Take off those big old belts that you guys think are so sexy. You know what I mean? Take off some of the makeup. Take out the weave. You know what I mean? Just be yourselves. You know what I mean? Just relax. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man. Like, I don't find that sexy. It's ridiculous. These women, and that's another thing I want to talk about real quick. Also over there, there's such not a desire or a need, for them to be extra. Everyone is very laid back. It's almost like they know secretly that they're beautiful, so they just walk around, some flip-flops, hair out. I mean, it's hot as all hell over there, but the point is they're not all extra like a lot of these American women are. Like, it's just crazy. I'm like, yo, you just could throw on a freaking regular old beat-up T-shirt and just be one of the most beautiful women ever. Why can't American women do that? And it's not really a rhetorical question. I'd love to hear from some of you guys, but, that is what's going on. That's what we want, ladies. We want naturally beautiful women with naturally great personalities. If every black woman in the country converted to that mentality and that style of dress, I guarantee we would start seeing some of these statistics drop. We would start seeing more and more black women get married to elite men. But instead, because people aren't doing that, you're doing the opposite. You're having the attitudes. You're dressing like whores. You feel what I'm saying? Black men are not married. It's not that we're afraid of commitment. It's not that we don't want to get married. It's just we don't want to bring home a whore to our mom. My mom told me and all my brothers, she said, don't bring no trash home. These elite men were brought up the same way. They're not going to bring trash home. Some of y'all look like trash. Now, that's not an attack. That's being real. Some of you dress like whores. I mean, I'm just being real. Some of you, meaning you dress like prostitutes, like you should be standing on the corner somewhere. That's not what we want. That's not what we'll accept. Now, again, shout out to all the respectable women who know how to just throw their hair up in a bun or in a ponytail. throwing some sweats and still be beautiful, shout out to y'all. I commend y'all. My hat is off to y'all. But the vast majority of y'all do not do that. Which is unfortunate. T. Smith, I want to hear from you, man. You've actually traveled the world. You're in the military. You know exactly what I'm talking about. What's your as an elite black? Cause I do consider you to be an elite black man. What do you attribute this to? You know, having seen the comparison, like, you know, all from American women to women from other countries.
My thing is, I've been all over this world and stuff, and I've seen the whorehouses in Germany, Italy, stuff like, including Tokyo and Guam and stuff. But, like, I've even dated some of the local women, and a lot of the black guys date the local women. And the thing is, a lot of sisters are stationed overseas. They hate it because they're not getting chosen. And when you ask the brothers why they date these foreign women, a lot of them marry them, too. The key is you got to marry the ones that deep in the country. Because you marry the ones around the base, they've been turned around like doorknobs. But thing is, they always say the attitude is better. They're pleasant. They're respectful. They don't meet no belligerence. And number 3, those women aren't trying to get the men to follow their program. And a lot of our sisters have those things right there, and I see it myself.
Hey, man, I appreciate that feedback. I mean, just listen. If you don't want to listen to me, listen. I've seen the promised land. I've seen what black, because I heard about it. You know, I never dated outside of my race. I never dated another nationality. My fiance is black. Nothing wrong with that. Again, some great black women out there. But what you have to, it's kind of like this. I'll give you all a quick analogy. It's kind of like, you know, a millionaire, you know, a multi-millionaire saying, hey, look, I want to buy a new car. Now, I mean, he could have any car he wants. He's a millionaire. Money's not an issue when he goes to buy that car. You know, I mean, Kanye West said, what you think I rap for, to push a effing RAV4? You know what I'm saying? He's not going to go buy a RAV4 when he can buy any car he wants. That's I mean, I'm just being real with y'all. Y'all can not like it. You can call it whatever you want, but trust me, I'm speaking the truth. And there's not a man listening who will disagree with what I'm saying. So ladies might have a problem. I guarantee there's not a man listening who doesn't feel what I'm saying. If he does, he's a hater. I promise you that. But this is how elite men think. This is what we've experienced throughout our lives. If that millionaire can buy any car that he wants, why the hell would he buy, you know what I'm saying, a car that's not really that great when he could have a Maserati, when he can have a Maybach? I mean, it doesn't make sense. So my point is this. When elite men can have the most beautiful women, the most personable women, the most humble women, the women who are most interested in building a happy home and treating us like kings, who won't throw their independence or their success in our faces. When we could have those types of women, now whether they're of other races or within our own race, it doesn't matter, but the bottom line is this. We will have the best. Please get that. See, understand this. The best men in the world will not settle for less than the best. And the best it does have something to do with looks. I'm not going to act like it doesn't. You know what I mean? But it also has to do with the personality. Some of y'all personalities are jacked up. Not only are they not jacked up, but they're just not the best. You guys don't go out of your way to make us feel like you have the best personality. The women who do that are the ones that get rings. The women who think it's, I'm going to sit back and wait for him to do this. He's going to chase me. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. Ladies, newsflash. Elite men don't have to do a damn thing. Don't y'all understand? That's what y'all don't get. Some of y'all are still stuck in 1940 acting like these men are going to chase you. Again, the best men in the world don't have to do anything. They can go to their jobs. They can go home, just like I did back in the day, and sit around and wait for women to call them. Wait for great women, not just, average hood rats, but I'm talking about women like you, professional, best women in the world, just and filter through who they want to deal with. Times have changed. The women who get that are the ones who get married. This is a competition, whether y'all like it or not. You're in competition. You need to act like it. Some of y'all, being stuck up is not the way to get a man. I mean, I don't know why I'm the only one saying this in the country right now. I don't know why the rest of these relationship guys, I do know why, but it's unfortunate that the rest of these men out here are afraid to talk about these issues because they don't want to lose their female base. But my ratings are going nothing but up. You know what I mean? People are tired of sugar-coated stuff. This show is growing, in case y'all haven't noticed. People want the truth. Y'all may not call in. You may not be in the chat room. You may not comment on Facebook when I talk about the show. But I know you're listening. I know that you guys need this. You love it, secretly or not so secretly. Gerald, what are your thoughts on me just being real in this real conversation we're having tonight?
Well, the thing is, Dedan, being fake, as so many people have been being for so long, obviously that's not working. I mean, when some of the most successful advice books, out are not giving realistic advice, are not giving advice that's actually going to help women, then there's a problem. There's a need for what is being said on this show tonight and every other night. So, the people who listen and the people who get it are the people who are going to be better off inside of their relationships. They're going to, the women who listen, they're going to understand the true thoughts and the true intentions of men. They'll find themselves in situations where not only are they helping themselves in a manner of, being able to sustain a good relationship, but they'll also be able to recognize when somebody is pulling the wool over their eyes and trying to BS them, because it's not about bashing women by no means. Sometimes you may tune in on one night and hear things and say, you know what, I don't want to listen to this type of show. But if you sit through the whole show, that you'll understand by the end of the show that this is not to put women down in any way. It's to uplift women and make them understand how men truly think and what they really have to do to avoid negative situations. So, by no means is there any show that's going to be better than this. There's not a show that's out there like this, and it's definitely a show that people need to listen to on a nightly basis, because at any given night you can miss something very valuable.
Every single night. Let me just talk about that real quick, but understand, ladies, I could do a different show. A lot of people have said, well, Dedan, why don't you spice it up a little? Why don't you have a female co-host, you, Gerald, and some female, we'll do like a battle of the sexes to hear a female perspective and this and that. See, that's what y'all don't get, and a lot of y'all, this isn't a show for debating. It's cool, we do it. That's why I do Beauty Shop Talk Wednesdays, just to give the women an opportunity to voice. And the phone lines are always open. You can call in at any time and let your voice be heard. But understand, this isn't one of those debates. Y'all think, even Facebook, we've had some of the biggest debates in the history of Facebook on my page. But, I'm not there for that. I'm trying to help y'all. I'm telling you the things that men talk about on a daily basis. I'm talking to y'all like a big brother, the same way I talk to my little sister who's 28 years old in some of these situations. So the debating is played out. I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? So don't take, like Joe said, don't take this as bashing. Take it as us helping. If it doesn't apply to you, cool. Let it fly. But if it does, then really listen, because whether I tell you this or not, and I said something on Facebook, we talk about the real reasons why men cheat, and they're real reasons. Now, some men are just dogs. Some men are going through that dog stage. But other men, who are married, who are in the ready to settle down stage, there are reasons that they cheat as well. That's where it gets a little cloudy. That's where women don't want to sit back and self-reflect. But if you don't do certain things, or if you do certain things, there's a significant chance that your man will do you dirty. Not because he's in the dog stage, but because he has 3 ways he needs to be satisfied: mentally, emotionally, and physically. A lot of y'all don't go out of your way to make him feel that. And that's not justifying it by no means. It's wrong. Wrong is wrong. But I'm trying to help you avoid it in the first place. But that's not what this show is about. Again, this show is about black women, specifically with attitudes. We're doing a little debriefing of my trip to the Dominican Republic, which was fun. We're going to have some more barbershop talk about that tomorrow. Just fellas, just go to the Dominican Republic, please. Seriously, every black man needs to go there before they die, just to experience it. You know what I mean? And it was interesting. Look on my page from when I was going. A lot of black women were hating and trying to find the negative. It was so unattractive. If you were a woman who was on my Facebook page last week hating on Dominican women or talking about why they're so friendly or this, just stop. Just please stop. You're talking about the most beautiful women in the world with the nicest personalities in the world. Trust me. So just stop. All right? Now, let's and that's not an insult. That's just, I don't want to speak for all. That's just me. I'm just being honest. I'm a real guy. Some women always say, well, why don't you? What's wrong with the black women? I love beautiful black women. I love them, but I gotta be real. You know what I mean? Y'all might think some of y'all are friends. Some of y'all think these Puerto Rican men, these Dominican men, are some of y'all like The Rock. He ain't all black. Keep it real. So let's all be real with each other. But definitely, like Gerald said, you don't want to miss a night. You definitely want to make sure you tune in pretty much 5 nights a week, because if you miss a night, you will miss a lot. Now, I got good news and I got bad news. The good news is we've been going all week. Although last week, guys, real quick, last week I did the best of the Dedan Tolbert Show. So every week last week was one of the best shows. So if I ever go away, don't think you shouldn't listen, because I'm rebroadcasting the best shows of all time. If you heard last week's shows, which were very highly rated, a lot of people tuned in to the best of the Dedan Tolbert Show. You know why. You heard why. But the good news is I'm back. The bad news is, or not so bad news, depending on how you look at it. I mean, not bad for me, maybe bad for you, but I'm leaving again next week. Just came back from Dominican Republic. I'm getting married on Saturday. Then on Sunday, I'm going to Cabo, Mexico. So I'll be going for another week for my honeymoon. So we'll be doing another week of the best of the Dedan Tolbert Show. But the good news with that is another round of some of the best shows of all time. So it's kind of, good news, bad news type of thing. Another, good thing, once I come back from Mexico next week, is we're taking it to another level. We're expanding to 3 hours, all right? 3 hours, 9 o'clock to midnight. I can't think of anything that would be better. That could be better than that. Seriously. 3 hours of the Dedan Tolbert Show. 2 hours isn't enough. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be syndicated on 88.1 FM WPEB in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? We're the winner of the 2010 AAMBC Award for Best Talk Show. So a lot of, a lot of things are, we got some things. People are talking about TV shows with me. They want to bring us to TV. I'm filming some different, we're moving in a very positive direction thanks to you guys. So that's the good news. That's the bad news. Gerald, man, what are your thoughts about everything that's going on?
Man, it's almost something that is unbelievable, hard to speak on. I mean, all I can really say, is thank you. Thank you to the people who listen and tune in every single night, because honestly, it's because of them. I mean, the awards that have been won. I mean, the special guests that who are come to the show every night and do the interviews. It's because the people who come to the show for the interviews, they know that this is one of the hottest growing shows, and they know that people are listening, so they want to market their work through this show. So, I guess I just want to say thank you to all the people who listen and tune in every single night, Dedan.
Definitely, and I see the chat room. Look at the chat room. If you're online, this is what I love to see. I see y'all. The chat. I don't know if we've had this many people in the chat room before, but you guys missed me. I missed you, and this is what's going on. Now, a woman in the chat room. Let's look at this. I like to acknowledge people, and feel free to call in. That's one thing I noticed. Have y'all ever noticed something? You look at these other shows, they're having these great conversations, or they're having these debates, and the phone lines just be lit up. Everybody wants to debate. Everybody wants to call in and voice. But y'all know that there is nothing that we're saying that is bashing. Deep down, you know that. Or else, some of the feminists out there, the independent, y'all would be calling in these damn lines, 646-200-0366, to cuss me out and put me in my place. But you know what we're saying is not unrealistic. It's true. It's an accurate depiction of how elite black men are. So whether you disagree with me or not, it doesn't matter, because the things that we say are being said all over the country by black men. That's why they're not putting rings on the fingers of these black women. I'm just being real. I know what's going on out here. But somebody in the chat room, they said, she said, it seems like he's saying that black women are trashy and not worth an elite black man. Now I got to stop and laugh at that. Now, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I said that. You know what I mean? Seriously, listening is fundamental, because I know for a fact that I did not say that black women are trashy and black women are not worth an elite black man. I don't think I said that. Gerald, did you say that? Did you hear me say that?
That was never said. But, the great thing about the show, Dedan, is everything is archived. They can always go back and listen again. But no, that was never said.
Not at all. You see how things get. It's kind of like you guys whisper something, you know what I mean? And it's like a line of people. You whisper down the line. By the end of the line, it's going to be a totally different statement than what was originally said. No one said that. Matter of fact, T. Smitty, did you say that? Did you hear me say that black women are trashy and they don't deserve an elite black man? Did you say that? Did any of us say that?
Nah, I don't remember anyone saying that.
Wow. Call in. I see some lines, some calls online. Call in if you heard me. But just to clarify, because I want to be clear. Well, I didn't say that black women are trashy. What I said was many black women, American black women, dress like whores. They dress like prostitutes. They dress like what you would stereotypically see a prostitute wearing. That's how a lot of you women dress on Friday nights when you go out. That's how you dress in your Facebook pictures. That's how you know what I'm saying? So not all, I would never say all black women or make a blanket statement. I've never made a blanket statement like that. That's why I say some. That's why I use the word many. Many black women dress like that. Now, you all, let's be clear about this, you all, quote unquote, deserve an elite black man. I want you, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to bring y'all together. I'm trying to bridge the gap. Because everyone deserves the best of life, but a lot of you won't get the best in life because of your views, because of your attitudes, because of your personalities. So what I'm trying to do is help you understand the error of a lot of your ways. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody can stand to do a little self-reflection. Let me tell y'all what I did when I was going. And me too. I went to a place they call it Serenity Beach. And look at those pictures. You see me lounging on the hammock. Look on my pictures in the album from the Dominican Republic. I did a lot of self-reflection. It was the most peaceful, tranquil place on the face of the earth. The breeze from the ocean, the comfortable, the shade. It was just perfect. It was literally paradise. And there, I self-reflected. I thought of ways to make the show better. I thought of things that I could do differently. Just self-reflected and examined my life and how I could be a better person. And there's nothing wrong with that. You all can, but it's hard. The problem is, and I've been guilty of this too, when somebody else tells you, you know what I mean, it's good, you're not really going to want to do it. Somebody can say, Dedan, why don't you do this? I might be like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? But if I sit back and think of it on my own, you know what I mean, then it's a little bit different. And that's all I'm saying. A lot of things I say, a lot of things Gerald says, you guys aren't trying to hear, but it's the truth nonetheless. So no, I'm not saying that all black women are trashy. I'm not saying that black women don't deserve an elite man, because you do. In fact, I want you to have one. But there are certain things you must do in order to be able to get an elite man. And, I believe this is a new listener. And I just posted a video blog entitled Elite Men versus Average Men and the differences, because there are differences. And unfortunately, one of the main differences, and Joe, I'll let Joe speak on this really quickly. One of the main differences is the woman's sexual history. When No Means Yes, and I'm hype off reading that book. It really did a good job of showing how a lot of these black women go to college and wild out and have a lot of sex and run their sexual partner, do all types of freaky things, and it showed what will happen to her when it comes to an elite man not, wanting to settle down. The bottom line is he will not do it. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of y'all think that it's okay to have all this sex when you're 20, and then when you get done having your fun, you'll be able to just chill and find an elite man. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. That is not the way it works. It would be nice for me to be able to get up here and say, you know what, everybody has a past, and everybody can change, and a man should be able to see past the mistakes you've made and still love you for who you are. But the reality of the situation is elite men are looking for women who keep their freaking legs closed. All right? I That's a fact. Everybody wants to debate. If you want to debate that, even if you're a man that wants to debate that, I promise you, you're not an elite man. That's what a lot of men think they're elite because they work a good job. That doesn't make you an elite man. You feel what I'm saying? Elite men want the best. Elite men want women who respect their bodies, who we will not have to worry about a videotape surfacing. You know, we won't have to worry about somebody tapping us on the shoulder and like, yo, is that your girl? Yo, guess I heard a story about her. I knew her. I went to college, or my buddy went to college with her. He ran a train on her back in the day. You sure you want to wife that up? We're not looking for those types of women. Some of y'all have those types of past. You know what I mean? I'm just being real. A lot of people are afraid to talk about that. A lot of people are afraid to be the bearer of bad news. A lot of people don't want to lose their listeners, so they say things, you know, to give these sugar-coated, watered-down BS answers like, oh, no, it's okay, don't worry. No, it's not okay to be a whore. It's not okay to be promiscuous. It's not okay to dress like a freak and expect to get an elite man. You're not going to get the best of the best dressing like that, or having sex like that. Just being real with y'all. So, sorry. You know, shoot me. Gerald, what are your thoughts, man?